Bordeaux's fall from grace has been brutal, but this club has everything it needs to rise again, and today we're going to take them back to the top. After facing severe financial issues and relegation to France's 4th tier, Bordeaux are in ruins. But they've got the infrastructure, they've got the fan base, and most important, they've got the ambition to return to their former glory. But this challenge is not going to be easy. We need smart signings, tactical changes, and a long-term rebuild is essential. It's not just about climbing the divisions, it's about bringing Bordeaux back into Europe's elite. So can we rebuild Bordeaux to be one of the biggest teams in the world once again? Let's find out. Now let's start this by looking at what this mess looks like on Football Manager, because it's really not that bad on FM. They've got a high reputation, great training facilities, unbelievable youth facilities, and pretty decent youth recruitment as well, which is going to be massive in this rebuild. I'm going to be concentrating on bringing through youth players, especially in these first 3 or 4 seasons as we look to climb back to Ligue 1, and also some free agent signings as well. Now, looking through this division, this first season's a joke. We are 1-91 to win the league. I believe currently in real life, Bordeaux are sitting in second and currently aren't looking to get promoted, which is a massive shock because some of these players in this team are fantastic. Our star player, Andy Carroll. I love it. I love Andy Carroll joining Bordeaux, finishing his career as a cult hero. He says here he's on £4,000 a week. I think that is true in real life, but he gives a lot back. I don't think it's like anywhere near as much of a money grab as people think. The guy's absolutely cooking in real life as well, and I think he's going to absolutely fry in this version of FM as well. He's 6'4". His pace actually isn't awful at 9 apiece, especially given how good everything else is. He also loves big matches, and he's good enough for the league above. So he's going to be more than good enough. Good enough for 2 leagues above. So even more than good enough for this division itself. In goal, we do have young goalkeeper Lassana Diabate, who doesn't look great, but it's going to be more than good enough for this season for sure. As well as young prospects are Emeric Depusset, who is 21 years of age, incredibly well-rounded, and excited to see if he can progress into someone. I'm going to look to take some of these players all the way to Ligue 1 with us, because why on earth not? Let's try and do this in a clever and smart way. Looking at Travis Mutoiba as a 5-star potential right winger from Uganda, who has got unbelievable technical ability. Might not be great mentally, but he's quick and his technicals are fantastic. On the bench, Glenn Yanuse. We've also got Yusufa Asogba, 2 great backup right backs. Amadou Diallo is the backup left winger, and Nolan Bonte as well. As we look for the development, there is some very decent players on here. Someone like Safawane Kareem could certainly come into this team and do a very, very good job. Now, as I said, this first season, it's going to be a walk in the park. We're in the 4th tier of France. This team is good enough for Ligue 2, realistically. So I'm not going to go too crazy on signings, as I said, for the first few seasons of this rebuild. Financially, £30 million in net debt and £6 million in transfer debt as well. Basically means there's £23 million because that is positive transfer debt. £23 million in debt. We're in the 4th tier of France. We're not going to earn a lot of money at all. I imagine the projections are pretty bad. They're not actually too bad at all, which is quite interesting. £3 million apparently we're going to go into that. Turnover 27, expenditure 14, profit and loss 13 million. So over 2 seasons, theoretically, we can clear a very good portion of this. Now here at Bordeaux, we do have a fantastic stadium. The Malmö Olympique is a 42,000-seater stadium. In real life, absolutely stunning, as you saw on the intro. So we also going to earn a lot of money through gate receipts, which I suppose is going to uphold us pretty well. So first off, let's just fly through this first season in the 4th tier of France with this historic club. Now, there is absolutely no surprise that we are going to win the 4th tier of the French division, but it's the way we done it. Andy Carroll was a superstar this season, and someone else that we touched on in the intro here was Travis Mutoiba, who was absolutely fantastic as well. Both of them get on the score sheet inside 6 minutes in this match, with Andy Carroll also grabbing a 3rd, and guess how it was? Backstick, big header, Andy Carroll scores. We were absolutely fantastic this season. As mentioned, I wasn't surprised. 83 points from 30 games, 27 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, and Andy Carroll, the 2nd highest goal scorer in the league, the 2nd highest player of the match, and the 2nd highest average rating. Lassana Diabate, for a 5-star potential wonder kid goalkeeper, was the highest clean sheets. And in terms of assists, we were nowhere to be seen, which is sad. Big Travis, though, 2nd on yellow cards. That is my go. Now, he's not going to progress very well because of the level level we are playing at, but playing 26 games, scoring 12 goals and 5 assists, that's pretty decent. Very, very happy with how Travis done this season, and actually pretty happy at how we done in the French Cup as well. We got all the way to the 9th round, which I believe is 5 rounds in, for losing on penalties to AS Espanyol, who sadly aren't even a amateur club, which is a shame. I believe we're actually amateur. We're semi-professional at this point as well, which is very interesting to have Andy Carroll here professional. I believe we get promoted to the 3rd tier, we are going to go up to being a professional team. But you can see I have brought up a lot of wonder kids from the academy, as we have had a fantastic youth preview come through. Hamza Bazari is an unbelievable Algerian striker. Alexandre Lacoste is a defensive midfielder. Sebastien Peltier is a left winger. Georges Grenald is a young goalkeeper. And that's it in terms of the regens come through, these top 3. But we're going to get a lot more come through, and already you can see the progression of some of these younger players is really good to see. Yunus Gabouni is someone as well we haven't touched on, a fantastic central attacking midfielder who sadly just can't finish with 7 finishing, but is a really good player. Andy Carroll didn't regress that much last season, lost a little bit of pace, but when you score 24 goals in 23 games, probably not going to regress, because he's an absolute god and I love it. We are going to be using Andy Carroll until he retires in this team, because I don't want anyone else leading the line. Now financially, we knew it was going to be tough. Debts wise, 18 million, so we have caught about 10 million pounds out of the debt and got 11 million pounds in overall balance, so that positive 30 million pounds was about right, which is great to see. The board have given us quite a substantial transfer budget and wage budget, but as mentioned, I don't want to go crazy in these first few seasons. This is a long-term rebuild, and we're looking to rebuild Bordeaux the correct way. We don't want to financially bankrupt them instantly. So this season, we made just 2 signings. Number 1 is Angolan goalkeeper Landu Langaga, who is a fantastic keeper. Good enough for the league above, is consistent, 16 jump and reach, 14 area reach, and 6'4". Is going to be an absolutely fantastic keeper for us. And my second signing is quite the coup, £425,000 on Alex Murphy. Bit of a weird signing, I know. Irish, used to play at Newcastle, was out on loan at Bolton last season in League One. Got 6.97, pretty damn decent. We've spent 425k on him because he's a really good left back and a really good centre back. And I think with the game time, this guy could become a League 1 player. It might be a little bit outrageous, but with being a good League 2 player already and close to full potential 5-star, I think we can get him there. So Alex Murphy is also in the squad, and that is it. Because as I said, I don't want to go crazy. I want to trust in the youth. So straight away, someone like Sebastien Peltier is in the first team. He might not be outrageously quick, but he can finish, good composure, and for this level, he's going to be absolutely fine. And on the bench as well, Mazzari is here and Lacoste as backup defensive midfielders. I am using a very standard 4-2-3-1 for this rebuild because I'm looking to rebuild Bordeaux without crippling them. I don't want to murder this team. I want to bring Bordeaux back to the very top using good tactics like they would do in real life, but without absolutely breaking them. That doesn't mean I'm not going to make some mental signings. We're going to do a lot of free agents and a lot of wonder kids, but it's going to be done in the right way, and it's going to be very, very enjoyable. Around 70% of you that are watching this video right now are not subscribed. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, especially if you've watched more than 2 of the rebuilds of my channel and you've enjoyed and you're watching to 8 to 10 minutes in. Make sure you're subscribing. Helps me out massively and you won't miss any more rebuilds. Now let's get straight into our 3rd tier team, the 2nd season in this rebuild. Where, by the way, we are of course predicted to win the league once again. 8-5 favourites against Grenoble. Now this season went not only better in the league than I expected, but also the French Cup. As we join me in the quarterfinals, we beat AS Monaco 2-0. Thanks to an Andy Carroll penalty and a Travis Matoiba screamer. Now, sadly, this didn't result in going to the French Cup final, as we lost 2-0 to FC Lorient, despite being at home and despite absolutely dominating them. We did lose 2-0. I don't know how this has happened. Andy Carroll is unbelievable. He's so good. 6 pace, 6 acceleration, 33 goals in 30 games. Andy Carroll's a broken man. I mean, quite literally, he's actually out for about 8 weeks due to a torn ankle. So that could be the end of Andy Carroll's incredible run at Bordeaux. But despite that injury to Andy Carroll, we finished this season in electric form. We started it in electric form as well. In February, we lost the first game of the month, but went on to win every single game for the rest of the month, every single game in March, every single game in April, and won 2 in May, followed up by a 0-0 draw at the very end. But that did not matter. We had made Bordeaux champions of the French National Division, the third tier of France, in a second season. So back-to-back promotions. Andy Carroll, 29 goals. Average ratings-wise, new signing Alex Murphy, 7.52. Andy Carroll, 7.52. Travis Matoiba, 7.42. I think it's safe to say we have made, number one, a fantastic signing in Alex Murphy, who already is a good enough player for Ligue 1. And I've done a great job in believing in one of the best young players here at the club in Travis Matoiba. This season, 12 goals, 12 assists, 30 games, a 7.34 average rating. It looks like we've got a very special talent on our hands. And of course, they weren't the only two superstars, as Younes Kabouni grabbed 12 goals and 13 assists, and Alex Murphy grabbed 14 assists and a 7.49 average rating, which is absolutely outrageous. Amadou Diallo as well, 7 goals, 8 assists, released from Newcastle back in 2023, and has done really well for us in back-to-back seasons now as a rotational winger, which is awesome. In terms of potential, we have had a bunch more wonder kids come through. Marco Giocco is a central midfielder who looks absolutely brilliant, really good long-range shooting, and will hopefully progress into a star. At 15, he's ready already. Hansa Mazzari was last season's wonder kid. He played 14 games for us this season and has grown a fair bit as well, which is great. Alexander Lacoste, 9 games for us this season he played, and Sebastian Peltier played 18 games, 5 goals and 2 assists. At 16 is very, very good. Wilfred Mbane is great, and so is Damien Malga, 2 new regens that have come through this season. Financially, we've got a little bit of money now, 8.7 million and 20k in wage budget. Debts-wise, just 12 million pounds, well, 10 million pounds after the transfer debt, and 16 million pounds in the bank. So I think it's time to spend some money, and we're going to do it on wonder kids and free agents. Now, we know the outrageous success we've had with Andy Carroll, so I thought, why not bring in Jamie Vardy and see if he can do the same thing as well. What is this world? Bordeaux, second tier of France, Jamie Vardy and Andy Carroll was their 2 strikers. What a dub this is. He's consistent. He likes big matches. He's about as quick as me these days, but he can still finish, and he's very determined. So Big Jamie is our new backup striker. And how about another one? Aaron Ramsey, released from Cardiff, no pace, but technically an absolute superstar. Consistent, loves big matches, and I think in that cam role is going to be absolutely fantastic. So we've now got Andy Carroll, Jamie Vardy, and Aaron Ramsey in this Bordeaux team. But don't worry, I did also make some smart signings as well. Number 1 was the free agent signing of James Debayo after being released from Leeds. Number 2 is Abubakar Keita, released from a team in Hungary that I cannot say the name of for the life of me. He just had 2 back-to-back seasons, though, of getting a 7.46 and a 7.47. Joins us on a free contract as a superstar DM. We then move on to Kylian Dong, a signing from Troyes, who's a winger with great pace, good finishing, and good consistency, and just being 20 years of age. And for our penultimate signing, we go to Argentina and Estudiantes, who have a fantastic young right back. Ezequiel Orbe, great speed, great crossing, great dribbling, and great decision making as well. It's been great for that wing back position. Before our final signing and a massive signing. Now, this one did cost us £3.5 million. We've signed Juan Lopez. Now, if I'm correct, this player is linked with Manchester United in real life. He is an unbelievable defender, 18 determination, great physical, 6'2", extreme consistency, and will be able to get to Ligue 1 standard. Now, he played only 3 games for Rosario, but got an assist and a 7 average rating from centre-back. So for us, he's going to be an absolute superstar. We're still in the second tier of France, remember, and this is our current team. We have got Andy Carroll up top, Matoiba at right wing, Dong at left wing, Ramsey in cam, Keita and Depouze in the DM roles with Murphy, Orbe, Jimenez, Dior and Langanga in goal. We still have Carroll, Matoiba, Depouze, Dior, and them 4 from the 4th tier of France to the top tier of France. And that's without all of our wonder kids on the bench that have come through our academy as well, like Mazzari, like Peltier, like Lacoste, like Gioku, Elliot Castell as well, I believe, and Yanuse and Grimaud, a bunch of players on the bench, which are great rotational options, who have come through our academy or at Bordeaux in real life. Now, of course, last season, semi-finals of the French Cup means we're probably going to be in good stead in the second tier of France, and we are. We're not predicted to get relegated. We are predicted bang on mid-table, 8th place, which I think is a bit low. I think our team is very, very good, but it does show we are not expected to automatically dominate this league. We've got teams like Paris FC, Angers, FC Lorient, who beat us in the semi-finals. Oh my God, did they win the cup? Did they win the cup last season? They lost in the final to Nice in extra time in the 124th minute. Oh, that would have been a story and a half. But anyway, Lorient in the second tier. Us in the third, both got to the semis. That's fantastic. Hopefully, it means there's a French Cup in our future. But yeah, there is some massive teams in here which we are now battling with. And Bordeaux are back to where they were, I believe, last season in real life before they got put down to the fourth tier. We are, of course, now a professional club as well. Our facilities are looking good. Our reputation has only dropped to 3-star despite being down in the fourth tier, moving all the way up to here. So we are in very good stead for the future. So let's see what this new team can do. Now, sadly, this is the final season of Andy Carroll, and I am so sad. He's just scored 17 goals in 21 games while having 5 pace. He still had it, he's our captain, but he is now retiring. The question is, did Andy Carroll help us get all the way to Ligue 1? Well, to kick things off, he has helped a lot. He has got us to the Ligue 2 playoffs to get promoted to Ligue 1. If we win this game, we're going to be going into a tie against a recently, well, potentially relegated Ligue 1 side. And we go down 1-0 thanks to an absolute screamer, but Makaiba finds Dong to make it 1-1 in the 44th minute. And we did not look back. Yanusei drove down the right-hand side, gets to the byline, goes alone and scores into the bottom corner. I believe a player from Bordeaux from the very start as well. And in the 55th minute, in this one-legged tie, we take a 3-1 lead and convince a 3-1 victory, meaning we are going into that playoff match against a team which could be relegated from Ligue 1. Now that team is AJ Auxerre, a team that if we are going to be a Ligue 1 team, we need to be beating. And in 43 minutes, Mutaiba scored a screamer from the edge of the box to give us a 1-goal lead. But before the half was up, AJ did bounce back. Gilavogu down the lines finds Siniako to the back post to find Vanksa to make the game 1-1. Now, I'm going to say something important. This is our home leg, and away goals matter. But given we're at home, a second for Kabuni makes it 2-1. But the reason that matters so much is in the 82nd minute, a misplaced pass means Siniako gets on the ball, drives down the line, finishes home, and we drew the game 2-2, and Auxerre had 2 away goals, meaning we could not draw this game. We had to go away from home and win. And in the 42nd minute of this game, we gave ourselves a fantastic chance of doing exactly that as Aaron Ramsey scores and puts us in the lead. But in the 51st, AJ Auxerre are going to score to make this game 1-1, and there was no more goals. We lost on away goals. I mean, we are not going to Ligue 1. We are staying in the second tier of France thanks to an away goals loss, which is heartbreaking. Auxerre staying in Ligue 1 and us just about losing, which is annoying. We were by far the third best team in this league. We were predicted to come down in 8th, so done pretty well above the likes of Bastia and Guingamp. But yeah, 7 points behind Lorient and a bunch of points behind Saint Etienne meant we probably weren't ready to get promoted, so we have got some growth to do. But that's going to be without Andy Carroll, as he is retiring. I would love to keep him on board, but he is not accepting the new contracts. He is retiring, and sadly, he is going. And sadly for us as well, so is Jamie Vardy. Now, the Vardy experiment didn't quite work out. He played 1 game off the bench in the French Cup and is retiring. So, yeah, Jamie Vardy in France, not quite what we were looking for. So he is going, and so is Andy Carroll. So there is a big rebuild on our hands now. Now, the signings we did make this summer, done very well. Aaron Ramsey, 3 goals and 6 assists, a 7.04. Travis still doing bits with 21 goal contributions, and Kylian Dong with 27, both dominating the wing positions. At the back, Juan Jimenez, a 6.86, now a 4.5-star player, a decent Ligue 1 player, and progressing at a ridiculous rate, which is unreal to see. Orbe at right back, didn't play too many games, and Yanusei did, so them two are going to have a nice battle at right back, that's for sure. And in terms of our youngsters, Damien Malga, I'm not sure if we've touched on him just yet, but this season had a breakout season. He played 50 games in non-competitive football, scored 37 goals, got 36 assists, and played 19 games with 12 for the bench in professional football, scored 8 goals and got 4 assists. So we've potentially got a absolute demon on our hands. And yeah, he was pretty damn good this season. So someone we are certainly looking towards for our future with this team. The rest of the youngsters haven't quite impressed as much. We have just got this one standout player. So exciting. We'll see what he can bring. Financially, it does hurt to not be going up. We obviously spent like we were going up with £3.2 million on a centre back. So financially this season, not quite as much money, and has not helped too much for the debt as we are back up to £27 million. So securing promotion to Ligue 1 this season is absolutely pivotal. So we have made just 3 signings this summer, and number 1 is our brand new striker, Joao Costa, coming in from Pau, well, actually on loan at Pau FC, but coming in from Braga. Last season at Pau, 7 goals, 12 games in the second tier of France. So we know he can play in this division. He is now ours. We've not let him go there. He's ours. And does he look good? 19 determination, decent physicals, 15 finishing, 6 foot tall. We might have an absolute demon on our hands. In fact, I know we've got at least one, because Tarek Buchanan is here after being released from Bayern Munich. High consistency, good physicals, good mentals, great technical stats for a centre-back as well, and he's going to partner Jimenez for years to come. And behind them, we've made an absolutely unreal signing. A free agent signing of Florian Müller, released from Freiburg last year, where he played in the Conference League, conceded just 34 goals in 31 games in the top tier of Germany while playing European football. He's joined us on a free contract. I mean, the club info, having Bordeaux as a great reputation club, being in the second tier is pretty overpowered, because we can just basically go and sign whoever we want, and whoever we want to sign does want to join as well. We still are sitting in 8th place, but last year we were 15-1. This year we are 17-2. It is Montpellier and Troyes, the teams that we are battling against to get promoted. And I do think we've got a good chance this season. Looking through tactically, our team is very strong. Malga goes into the right wing position. Dong left wing. Mateba now in the cam role. Costa up front. Ibane is our backup striker. 16 finishing, 14 composure. Not good speed and inconsistent, but as a backup to Costa will be great. Mazzari, Ramsey, Peltier, Lacoste, Joku, Trichard, Debayo, Dior, Yanuse and Grimaud make up our backups as well. Let's see if now, for Season 4, after back-to-back promotions, a year of building, we can turn Bordeaux back to Ligue 1. Joao Costa for £500,000 might go down as one of my best signings in rebuild history, as he was absolutely unbelievable this season and managed to replace the goals of Andy Carroll. He's got a grand total of 25 goals in 33 games in the second tier of France, and was a massive influence as to how we were able to go unbeaten for the whole of 2027, drawing just 4 games and winning the rest. And because of that, to absolutely nobody's surprise, we are winners of Ligue 2. 65 goal difference, 1 loss against Bastia, which was a 1-0, and they finished down in 4th place. Jimenez, 7.47, 12 goals and 6 assists from centre-back is unreal. Mateba, 7.36. This guy has come with us from the 4th tier of France, dropped above a 7 average rating every season, and is now ready to take us into Ligue 1. And Florian Müller, the free agent signing, conceded just 18 goals in 33 games. Our team this year was unbelievable. Even the wonder kid in Malga, 21 games, 11 goal contributions, while still playing games for our non-competitive B side, 43 goals and 36 assists. He's ready to become our absolute superstar now, so that is unbelievable to see. Keita and Depousse in DM probably need a little bit of upgrading, but we'll see about that. At the back, Jimenez, Buchanan, 2 fantastic centre-backs. Murphy at left wing-back has been great. Orbe, right wing-back, has been great. And of course, our goalkeeper, Müller, unbelievable. Dong at left wing as well, certainly worth talking about. 16 goal contributions in 32 games, meaning we are now going to Ligue 1. That's given us a massive boost financially. Debt-wise, just £7 million. Balance, £17 million. And transfers-wise, £14 million and £78,000 in wage budget. I'm going to be sticking to the principle though, only allowed to sign players under 21 or free agents. So let's build Bordeaux to European champions. Now, I didn't want to spend out too much money financially, so didn't do a single transfer using our transfer budget. That doesn't mean though we've not brought in any absolute superstars. Paulo Dybala has joined Bordeaux on £50,000 a week on a 1-year deal to attempt to keep us in Ligue 1. Now, this is a fantastic signing because he can play in striker and, more importantly, in this number 10 role where I'm looking for him to replace Aaron Ramsey and become that absolute superstar. I mean, that's an absolute coup for any club, let alone a newly promoted club. Moving on from there, we go to French star Maxime Lopez, who has had his contract finished at Paris FC. This guy's consistent. He likes big matches, have had 117 games in Ligue 1, and is a fantastic deep-flying playmaker. Tin Yedvaj is my next signing as a backup centre-back at 31 years of age, bringing experience on just £9,000 a week. And then we turn to a bit more youth. Adam Asnou coming in from Bayern Munich, where he has played 94 games for the second team, has played games at Valladolid in Spain as well, and is a fantastic young left-back, again on the free. Before our final signing of Dazen Maeda, who I've brought in to play in our left wing position due to his outrageous pace. Another free agent signing who has been released from Celtic after scoring 13 goals in 33 games, dropping a 6.97. I think this is a great piece of business because he's just 29 years of age. And if I wanted to, we could sell him for £10 million, only on 27 grand as well. So I think it's safe to say we have built a very strong side. We're of course keeping Joao Costa up front. Maeda, Malga and Dybala is our new cam trio, which I'm a massive fan of, with Dupuzet and Lopez in DM. Dupuzet here from the very start, which is awesome to see. Asnou, Buchanan, Jimenez, Orbe and Müller in goal as well. So just the one player left from League, the fourth tier, and one player through the academy in Malga in the starting lineup. The rest of the team we have purchased, and I think we've done a pretty good job as well. I mean, based on what the media preview says for Ligue 1 this season, we are predicted 15th, which is survival, so that's a pretty good thing to be predicted that without playing any games. But there is a team to attempt to chase down, PSG, but the main goal in this rebuild is to become Champions League winners. So first up, we need to try and get into Europe. That's going to come in a couple of seasons, I imagine. But for now, safety, and then we build. Well, of course, this summer we made some fantastic signings. The signings of Paulo Dybala, Dazen Maeda, and co were all absolutely brilliant. But I didn't expect them to be this brilliant. We were an unbelievable team, and having that extra season in the second tier of France seemed to help drastically, and we certainly weren't battling relegation. I mean, of course, the main signing was Paulo Dybala, and he added a real air of class to this team. I mean, just look at this goal and the unbelievable quality he added at 33 years of age. Now, we're not going to get long off Dybala. In fact, this is his only season. He is retiring from the club, but did get 17 goal contributions this season and a 7.13 in what can only be described as a simply ridiculous season. We've just finished in 4th place, securing Champions League football in our first season in Ligue 1. Yeah, I didn't expect this to happen either. After being promoted after 2 seasons in Ligue 2, we have made huge strides. I mean, the team is great. Let's be real here. The team is really good. We've got an unbelievable striker. Dazen Maeda on the wing is great, as is Malga from the academy. Dybala's top tier. Our DM partnership is really strong. Our defence is young, growing, and really good. But top 4? That seems absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that we nearly got to the final of the French Cup as well, losing to PSG on penalties, is absolutely devastating. We have built a team from out of nowhere, really. Let's be honest. Financially, we are doing fantastically well. Now £35 million in the bank, 0 debt on the club. So Bordeaux are back. We are a massive club, and we're now in Champions League football. We don't get that battling relegation phase. We're going straight to the Champions League. There's no Europa League. There's no Conference League. We're going right to the top. Our academy is doing fantastic as well. Hamza Mazzari from a couple of seasons ago played 7 games for us this year. Got 7 goal contributions for us this year in 15 games and is growing really well as a backup striker. He's brilliant. Wilfred Abane still 5-star potential. Of course, Damian Malga, 37 games, 4 goals and 9 assists. Looks absolutely brilliant. Juan Jimenez, the signing a couple of seasons ago now, is outrageous. Adam Asnou, great season for him. Buchmann doing great. Maxime Lopez doing fantastic. Lacoste with high potential. Peltier as well, both with high potential. And Joku. We've also got Julian Reynolds here, who is a high potential centre-back that looks really good. Now, obviously, our youth academy system and recruitment hasn't changed too much since the start of this rebuild. And I don't imagine we're going to get as many superstars as we got at the start. The reason we were so good in the 4th tier of France and 3rd tier and 2nd tier realistically is because our academy was way too good for that level. That has of course now slowed down. Our academy is probably now a little bit lower than it should be realistically for a team at our level, but really happy with how I've progressed this club, and I think we've done it in the right way as well. I think now it's time to bring in some more stars, replace Paulo Dybala, because in that cam role he was absolutely fantastic. Of course he is retiring, which is sad, so we'll replace him, potentially a brand new central defensive midfielder, and see what other young stars we can bring to this club. Well, my first signing is going to be 21-year-old Nefemori Traoré, coming in from Stade Liège in Belgium, where he has played 119 games and over the last 3 seasons has been a consistent starter in DM, and he cost us just £1.4 million. Now he has got elite consistency, great determination and good on both feet. Defensively and technically he might not be the greatest player, but as a rotational option for Maxime Lopez and to grow into that starting position for 1.4 million is an absolute bargain. I then used our hidden regens method to sign Christian Adamu. If you haven't seen the video where I show you how to find hidden regens from all over the world, well, go and watch it, because we sign players like this who have 16 finishing, outrageous speed, determination, and it cost us just £600,000 coming in from Enyimba Abba from Nigeria, 7.61 a couple of seasons ago. This guy looks great and is hopefully going to be a really good rotation for us. And my final signing in terms of spending money and not free agents is Len Min Tran, a Belgian right back from KRC Genk, where he's played 52 games over 2 seasons there. Really good, well-rounded, high determination, and a new wonder kid to the game. On to players that are going to impact us on the team sheet. Kanya Fujitomo is someone I've signed on a free agent contract from Gil Vicente in Portugal. But the main star in cam to replace Paulo Dybala is Mateus Franca, signed from Crystal Palace. A young Brazilian with great flair, consistency and dribbling. He is bound to help us in that role. And finally, I've gone to Ipswich and I've poached Harry Clark. Now, Harry Clark is an unbelievable right back on FM. This guy's results for me are always fantastic. He's got great crossing, great dribbling, great speed. He's 6'2" and elite consistency. And I'm just shocked he's been released, to be honest. He played 12 games in the Prem, has always been a bit of a bit part player for them. Even in real life, he kind of is as well. And on FM, for me, he's always unbelievable. So I brought him in, and hopefully he's going to add a lot to that right-back position, because Orbe has left the club, which means Tran is the backup, Clark is the starter. I felt we needed an upgrade in that position. Muller stays in goal for us, Buchmann and Jimenez as our 2 centre-backs, with Adam Asnu at left-back. Nefemori Traoré is going to go into that DM role, potentially with Lopez next to him. I think more realistically it's going to be Lopez and Depuse in that DM role together. Malga on the right wing, Fujitomo as his backup, Mazzari now on the left wing, Mateus Franca in cam, and Costa up front. We have of course still got Mateba here at the club as well, at 22 years of age, has been a bit of a Bordeaux legend. I mean, even last year in Ligue 1, a 7.18. What an absolute star. He's probably going to play games, to be honest. Let's be real. He is just an absolute god and my favourite player in this team. Season preview-wise, 14th place with Champions League football. Never underestimate us. We are in the UCL this season, and the French Cup I would like to get ticked off the list as well. So let's see what we can do for season number 6. Now, this season was our first attempt in Champions League football, and it's safe to say we've done pretty well. 15th place, 4 wins against Stuttgart, VCSB, Salzburg and Shakhtar, a draw against Leipzig, and 3 losses against Inter Milan, an 8-0 against PSG, which is ridiculous, and a 3-1 against Liverpool. But we do finish in 15th place, which is the top 8. So we're going to get a favourable knockout playoff round. And I think it's safe to say the game was actually very fair in rewarding us for finishing in the top 8, as we faced up against Ferran Cavaros and absolutely battered them. Asnu finding star player through the academy, Abane, to make it 1-0 in this game. Fujitomo then gets to the byline, cuts it back for superstar Harry Clark to find the top corner for 2-0, and what I haven't told you is that is 5-1 in this tie. It is 6-1 thanks to a worldy free kick from Fujitomo, but we are going to the round of 16 after clearing past Hungarian side Ferencváros, where we are facing German giants Bayern Munich. Now, this just isn't very fair, is it? Bayern are quite a good side, and Matthias Tell got them off to a 1-goal lead at our stadium. But we do have some superstars of our own. In particular, Christian Adamu, the Nigerian signing from Ebanya Aba in Nigeria, was unbelievable in this game. Grabbed one there to make the game 1-1 and actually put us in the lead in the 90th minute to score to make it 2-1 and nearly get us a historic victory against Bayern Munich. But of course, that is not the case. Matthias Tell down the left-hand side finds Super Harry Kane in the box, draws the game level at 2-2. And it means we've got to go to the Allianz to try and get a result. And that was just sadly never going to happen. We did, though, see a historic goal for Aymeric Depoussé, a player from the 4th tier of French football, has come with us, Bordeaux, and scored in a Champions League game in the 17th minute against Bayern Munich. I feel like we have to watch this goal because it's a historic moment. It's a player from day one that has been with the club and has just scored a volley from the edge of the box as well. What an absolute legend Aymeric is. I mean, his stats aren't outrageous, let's be real, but 30 games for us this season, 2 goals, 4 assists, and he's held his own. He's actually been in the club since 2017 as well, when times were good, and now he's reaping them rewards and becoming a Champions League footballer. Aymeric, you, sir, are an absolute hero. The question is, how did we do in Ligue 1? After our unbelievable season last year, could we emulate that and get European football once again? Yes, we could. We finished in 5th place on 61 points and we're just 1 point away from getting Champions League football in back-to-back seasons. Now, PSG are going to be near on impossible to chase down, and I'm going to say it right now, if we win the Champions League before winning Ligue 1, I'm going to call it there, because PSG have got a ridiculous team. I mean, what's this geezer doing at PSG? Jude Bellingham, and he's not the only one. This PSG team is an absolute joke, and I'm just worried that we're probably going to win the Champions League before toppling these in terms of their consistency. Kvaratskhelia, Bernardo Silva, Oscar Glau, Vitinha, Bellingham, Casado, Mendes, Pacho, Gatti Hernandez, and Donnarumma. Not to mention Ousmane Dembele, Brady Barcola, Zaire Emery, Kolo Muani, João Neves, Fabinho, Hakimi, Ramos, Alan Saint-Maximin. What is bro doing here? Jesus. But, this team is just an absolute joke. And I'm going to set the record right now. If I go on to win the Champions League before winning Ligue 1, I'm counting that. I wanted European domination, and that is what I'm going for. That team is just too good, and are going to be winning probably 90 plus points every single season. This season was 82, still 5 points clear and 21 points clear of us. In the French Cup this year, we finished in the 11th round, sadly knocked out to OGC Nice, who finished in 7th place. But we have got Europa League football next year, and I think that's a really good thing for us because it's a competition we can certainly win. Goals-wise this season, João Costa did dry up a little bit. He scored 19 and got 5 assists. Damien Amalga, 15 and 9 assists. Hamza Mazzari, 8 goals and 1 assist as well. Was great to see. Fujimoto grabbed 10 assists from right wing, and Adam Asnou from left back also grabbing 10 assists. And my favourite player, where is he? Mr. Harry Clark grabbed 8 assists and 5 goals and a 7.01. What an absolute legend. João Costa was our best player over the whole year, but overall the team is performing at a very high rate, and I think we've done quite a good job of building an experienced team with some youth. We have the older players in Florian Müller and Maxime Lopez, quite a decently aged defence of 23, 24 and 28. Traore next to him, 22 in DM, and then 20, 25, 20 and 24 in our strikers. While we have been signing a lot of free agent older players with experience, I think we've actually built a really good squad. Financially as well, it's working wonders. We have £105 million in the bank. It's pretty good, quite a good time to mention this save file is available on Patreon to anyone that wants to help support the channel and get yourself a Bordeaux save. I'll send you any save file you want from this Bordeaux rebuild. If you want to join in when we're in Ligue 1, drop me a DM on Patreon. I'll send it over to you. It helps out, supports me massively, £5 a month, and you literally change my life and potentially do on YouTube as a full-time career. So if you have got spare £5, you want to help support the channel and get some bits for doing it as well, that is the way to do it. The link's at the top of the description. But let's get on to season number 7, we're hopefully going to build a European winning side. Now this season, we saw Dazen Maida leave us instantly for £14.5 million. And we spent that on a wonder kid of our own. Marcos has joined, he has the wonder kid tag, and we've signed him from Atletico Mineiro after back-to-back seasons doing very well over there. He cost us £12.5 million. He does lack a little bit of consistency, but an overall very talented winger. We then move on to a potential star goalkeeper in the future in Mads Eikrem Mikkelbust, signed from Marseille, and Lautaro Briones, signed from Tigre, where he's played 135 games in the top tier of Argentina. In terms of free agent signings, my first is Ladislav Krejci, someone signed from Girona. I'm a massive fan of this guy in real life because I went to go and see Sparta Prague play back in 2019, I believe it was, when this guy was breaking in to the team. It was a 5-0 win, and from DM, this guy bagged a brace. Absolute legend. Since then, been a massive fan. I've now got him in a rebuild in DM where he's going to be an absolute superstar. And finally, probably my favourite signing of all is Fermin coming in from Barcelona. This guy is a real talent in real life, but on this save hasn't played very many games for Barcelona at all. In fact, going on loan to Brest last season where he scored 2 goals, 2 assists, 15 games, didn't do too much, went back to Barcelona for a whole season, didn't play, and he's now with us on a free agent contract. I'm going to look to get the best out of him. Now he does come straight into our starting lineup and drops Mateus Franca to the bench, but that is a pretty good rotational pair in that cam role. Up front, I am still trusting João Costa with Malga and Marcos on the wings. Lopez and Krejci in DM is a great experienced partnership with Asnu Clark, Jimenez Buchmann and Mikkelbust in goal. I'm not sure if he's going to play or if Miller is going to play. We'll have to see who performs better in the first couple of games, but overall, very happy with the team, very happy with the bench, and hopefully this season we can bring a trophy back to Bordeaux. And that trophy we want to win is the French Cup, but we just can't do it. After getting to the semi-finals in Ligue 2, I genuinely thought it was going to be a walk in the park, but sadly not. In the 11th round, we lose to FC Lorient. Which means we turn our attention to Ligue 1, where we are going to finish in 4th place. But as mentioned, PSG, 91 points, 1 loss this season. We lost 9 games, 8 draws, 17 wins, 59 points. Not the greatest points tally, but we do secure Champions League football for Season 8, which is fantastic. Really happy with the progression of this side. Mateus Franca actually done unreal this season. 8 goals, 18 assists, and a 7.2 average rating. Fermin played lots of games out in DM, all in the left wing position, where he scored 11 goals and got 7 assists. But our final chance at a trophy was the Europa League, and I think this league phase shows just how far we've come as a club. 22 points out of a possible 24, only falling short to Inter Milan. 7 wins against Brøndby, Villa, Rapid, Başakşehir, Napoli, Trabzonspor and Dynamo Minsk, drawing only 1 game away from home to Crvena Zvezda. But in the round of 16, we were actually drawn against Portuguese giants FC Porto, but we were unbelievable in this tie. We scored in just 3 minutes there to make it 1-0 in this leg, before Fermin off the left-hand side finds Krejci to find Asnu for a back stick cross to Malga to make it 2. And I'm not going to waste your time showing every single goal, because we beat Porto 7-2 on aggregate. Yes, 7-2 against one of the biggest clubs in world football. It was an absolute embarrassment. A hat-trick from João Costa, a brace from Dennis Malga in the second leg, and moves us on to the quarterfinals. We were then due to face Ajax, and in the first leg at the Johan Cruyff Arena, it finished as a 2-2 draw, which meant we were favourites. Ladislav Krejci made it 1-0 in the first 5 minutes before we made it 2-0 and put the tie in doubt as Dennis Malga, the academy star, found Fermin at the back post. In the 94th minute, Ajax tried to get back in level terms. Verbruggen drives through and does score. Not Bart Verbruggen. If Bart Verbruggen's got a mohawk and looks like that and plays at left wing for Ajax, fair enough. We're in a very different universe. But that's not the case. They do score to make it 2-1. But we win the tie 4-3 on aggregate and are moving on to the semis, where it's now Borussia Dortmund standing in our way. And how different this game could have been. At the BVB Arena, we were 1-0 up. We missed a penalty. Then we got a red card and Dortmund drew the game 1-1. Which means we had to be on top form to beat one of the German best teams, and Buchmann in just 7 minutes made it a very good chance. But they had a set piece of their own and drew 1-1 inside 10 minutes. It was going to be a back and forth game, you could tell from the very start, as 38 minutes in, Dennis Malga to the byline once again and finds Marcos at the back stick to make it 2-1, before Dortmund, of course, bounced back. A penalty from Sally Ozcan, and it took all the way to the 95th minute to find the winner of this game, and luckily enough for us, it was going to be Bordeaux. Tran whipped it in, finished home by Fujimoto, and Bordeaux were heading to the final of the Europa League. Well, we faced Napoli, a team that we beat in the league phase, and in just 42 minutes, we went 1-0 up through Portuguese star João Costa. But the 94th minute, as Napoli sent forward their goalkeeper, they equalised the game. Trincao finds Junior Krupi in the box to make it 1-1, and extra time could not separate these sides. Ebane scores from the spot for us to make it 1-0, and Gyökeres scores for them. We then stepped up with Adamu, who made it 2-1 before Francisco Trincao stepped up and missed. And that made Bordeaux champions of the Europa League, a competition we deserved. We dominated nearly every single game we played. We finished second in the league phase, and in the final we're the team on top, creating a 2.1 XG, having 14 shots to their 8, and proved to the world that Bordeaux were back. There was just one more step to make, becoming Champions League winners. The team we've built is incredibly good, incredibly well-rounded, incredibly young as well. Marcos and Malga were 2 stars for us this season, with Dennis Malga scoring 13 goals, grabbing 14 assists, a 7.32. Just can't get into that French national team. He's now the vice captain of the club. He came through in the first season in the 4th tier of France, and since then has been a standout player in every single campaign. Firmine this season was great. Craigie and Lopez in DM, fantastic partnership. Asnu, Jimenez, Buchmann, Clark as a back four was great, and Müller was our main goalkeeper for this final season. Financially, £75 million in the bank. It's time to send the house and make Bordeaux Champions League winners. And I'm going to do that without spending a single penny. My first signing is Charles de Ketelaere. Now, yes, we have got a fantastic central attacking midfielder on a free agent contract. How on earth has Atalanta allowed this guy to be released? I don't know. 17 goal contributions in the Serie A last season, a 7.09 average rating, free contract, consistent, unbelievable player, and is more than good enough to win a Champions League. Next up, our brand new goalkeeper. Sticking with a German is Alexander Nubel, who's been released from Brentford. We then move on to a new backup left back in Anthony Robinson after being released from Rangers. Issa Diop was the next man, also released from Brentford to be a fantastic rotational centre-back with elite experience. John Munyakola is the man I've chosen to replace Maxime Lopez in our defensive midfield position. Unreal on the ball, great mentals, 16 natural fitness as well, which means at 32 years of age, it's going to take quite a while for him to drop off. He's consistent, he likes big matches, and has played 389 games for Atletico Pamplona. He's got a brand new home here at Bordeaux. And finally, our potential new striker in Rocco Simic, signing from Cardiff. This guy, one of my favourite wonder kids in this version of FM, because he simply breaks the game. He's 6'3", great speed, great determination, good finishing composer, while having elite consistency. That is the instant mashup of a superstar. Think of Erling Haaland on this game. I know it's a bit of a weird comparison, a Cardiff striker to Erling Haaland, but the build of a big man of good speed and finishing, Rocco Simic suits that instantaneously. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to start or if João Costa is going to start, but it is going to be one of them. Marcos as left wing, Malga on right wing. CDK in the cam role is an unbelievable signing, with Munyakola and Firmin in DM. I'm not sure how this is quite going to work. I'm hoping they are going to play in this role together. If not, Ladislav Krejci is also here. I am training Firmin to become a defensive midfielder as a deep lying playmaker. I think he'll be great at that role. If not, he's probably going to play out on that left wing position. Backline, Briones, Jimenez, Buchmann, Harry Clark, and Nubel now in goal. Someone I've not really said too much about. Obviously, I just said we've signed him, but this guy also breaks FM. extreme consistency, elite jumping reach, area reach, and very good one-on-ones, rushing out, reflexes. Is almost the perfect goalkeeper for FM. Has played loads of games for Brentford now as well in the Premier League and has lots of experience. So hopefully he's going to be an absolute star for us. Competitions-wise, Super Cup, French Cup, Champions League, and Ligue 1. Also, PSG have just won the Champions League, which I find absolutely mental. They beat Barcelona in the final 1-1 on penalties. Again, saying the fact, if we do win the Champions League, I'm not expecting to win the league as well. This PSG side is just an absolute joke, and it continues to get stronger as well. I mean, actually taking this team down is impossible. Arda Güler's just signed £46.5 million. That's not fair. He's a bit good. And yeah, they're just spending a lot of money. We'll see what we can do against them. We'll have to find out. But our next step is becoming Champions League winners after last season's Europa League win. Well, Season 8 was our best points tally yet. 67 points in the top 3 in the league, and we had made some fantastic signings. Charles de Ketelaere in particular was a great piece of business. 22 goal contributions in 37 games, but it wasn't enough to chase down PSG. And sadly, PSG were the fall on our side. We've done pretty well in the league phase this year, finishing in 17th place. We beat Lyon 1-0 in the knockout playoff round due to CDK, before beating Leipzig 6-2 on aggregate in the round of 16. But as mentioned, PSG were the fall in our side. In the round of quarter-final, we faced them and lost 2-1 on aggregate, a 0-0 draw in the first leg, losing thanks to a 76th minute João Neves goal. And that is just really annoying because I think we've had a fantastic season and that was potentially a chance for us to go all the way. But PSG, being the absolute annoying team they are, beat us in everything. The Super Cup, the league, the Champions League, and we still didn't win the French Cup either, losing in the quarterfinals to Marseille, who eventually lost to PSG in the semi-finals. If we got there and lost to PSG, I'd have probably lost my mind because they were just stupid this season. Their team is just too good. We did see a bit of a pass of the baton this season as Rocco Simic became our starting striker, 19 goals and 4 assists in 44 games, seeing João Costa drop to the backup. Marcos grabbed 10, CDK grabbed 10, Malga grabbed 19 goal contributions, but after that it was a bit of a poor season for us. I do think we can do better. So season 9, let's make it our season. Well, I wasn't going to sign anyone, but instead I've had to go to Wonder Kids and build a team for the future, because it might not be that we do this in the next 12 months, 24, 3 years. We might need another 4 or 5 seasons in this rebuild. So I've gone to Wonder Kids. We've got a lot of experience. It's now time to turn our attention here. Number 1 signing is new goalkeeper Tsuyoshi Furukawa, signed from Benfica for £11 million. Number 2 is young Austrian centre-back Ben Richter, signed from Salzburg. Our third is Venezuelan striker Jesus Suaza, who's coming in to be our backup. Napoli found him from Caracas in Venezuela, and they've let him go for just £2.5 million. He looks absolutely fantastic, and what a head of hair he's got as well. We go back to Japan to find Kudashiro Dodate, who I've loaned back to Yokohama. He is a young striker with great dribbling, finishing and speed, and could be a star for us in the future. Razvan Godola is another player I've signed and loaned back to his parent club of CFR Cluj, a young Romanian DM. Someone that I think is going to make an impact this season is Andrijano Vrakcevic, signed from Dynamo, a very similar player in DM, a great playmaker and could be a star this season. And finally, a sprinkling of experience and a star. It's Douglas Luiz, signed from Al Ittihad on a free contract. Extreme consistency, unbelievable baller, and is going to be a star for us this season, absolutely no doubt. Now, he is kind of the only player that comes into this team to play in the starting lineup. The rest of the team I am very happy with. Even Alex Murphy is playing as our left back this season because he played there last season and was really, really good, and has been really impressive for us throughout this whole rebuild. We signed him in the third tier for 425k, has been like an ever-present, and last season dropped to 7.04 average rating. So if you're looking for a young player for really cheap at left back or centre back, Alex Murphy, late developer tag, could be an absolute star. This year though, I would like to get some revenge on PSG. They've had it their way for too many seasons, and I think it's finally time for a new dominant side in France. Well, our league form started absolutely ridiculously. We won every single game in August, and I thought this could potentially be our year. But we lost to Monaco in September and didn't win a single game for 5 in a row. And well, that simply just isn't good enough. In Ligue 1, when you've got the likes of PSG at the top, you can't really have that poor run of form. And the reason I'm so angry is because PSG also fell off this season and we didn't win the league. We finished in 4th place, 68 points, our best points tally yet. But Marseille, with Wilfried Gnonto up top, won the title. PSG finished in 2nd. And I'm just so annoyed. This was our year and we bottled it. Oh, it's so frustrating. Monaco finished in 3rd place, Bordeaux in 4th, Strasbourg in 5th. Sadly, though, no Ligue 1 for us just yet. And it's been since 2009 since Bordeaux won the title, which is a just ridiculously long spell. So we do need to try and get that title back. But our main worry was, of course, the Champions League. And in this season, we finished above PSG. We finished 6th place in the league phase, 6 wins against Ludogorets, Barca, Leipzig, Celtic, Sevilla and Salzburg, losing to Lille and Arsenal, both away from home. But we've finished in the top 8, which means we are going straight to the round of 16. Where we were drawn up against Bayern Munich, a team that stood in our way just a few seasons ago. We were looking to get our revenge. The first tie was a 1-1 draw, so Marcos scoring there put us in a 2-1 lead. Vracevic, with that unbelievable vision, found Dennis Malga from the right wing to make it 2-0. But we saw last time out, you just cannot sleep on Bayern Munich. Elise dancing left, dancing right, finds Andre to go through to score past Fukunawa to make it 2-1. And they did make it 2-2 as well. Pavlovic and Nasser linking up. A great ball to tell. Jimenez makes a slight mistake. Musiala scores. And it was all down to the final goal. Whoever scored this would win the tie. In the 80th minute, Malga finds Charles de Ketelaere, gets to the byline, finds Rocco Simic in the box. He scores, and we beat Bayern Munich 4-3 on aggregate. A ridiculous tie, but we are through against the German Giants. The round of 16, less interesting. We faced up against Napoli and beat them 2-1 on aggregate. And Napoli at this point must absolutely hate our guts. We beat them in the Europa League final last year and we've knocked them out in the quarters of the Champions League this season. Pretty impressive. We're into the semi-finals. Well, we faced Barcelona and we'd beaten these in the league phase. So we just had to do it again. And the first tie was a 2-2 draw and Lamine Yamal got them off to a great start, making it 1-0 in the 43rd minute. And it took us all the way to the 65th as Marcos found Mateus Franca to level the game up. And it's the same in the Bayern Munich game. The next goal scorer would win this game. And Charles de Ketelaere found Rocco Simic to find the on-rushing Douglas Luiz back to Rocco Simic. An absolute bagsman. I told you this guy will break the match engine, and he's done it there once again, sending Bordeaux to the final of the Champions League. He scored 25 goals this season, a 7.04 average rating. Do not be put off by the fact that this guy is a championship striker in real life, because he's an absolute joke. Scored 14 goals in both seasons for us in Ligue 1, and has been a star player for us. This whole team we've built is absolutely fantastic, and my favourite player from day one, Damien Malga. He is the vice captain of Bordeaux and he's leading us in to a Champions League final where we faced Manchester City and scored from Tarek Buchmann and won the game 1-0. A back post header is all it took for Bordeaux to beat City in a very lackluster final. It's got to be said, as anticlimactic as it could possibly get. It was a very even tie, but a backstick header was the difference. And Bordeaux are Champions League winners. I can't believe it. We have turned this club around from the depths of the 4th tier of France to champions of Europe and rebuilt Bordeaux back to the very top. If you do want to pick the save file up on Patreon, take Bordeaux to French domination, beating PSG, be my guest. I could have sat here now for another 4 seasons and it couldn't have happened because that PSG team is a joke and I've done what I set out to do, win the Champions League. So if you want to take it to that next step, go and do that on the Patreon down below. Thank you so much for watching this Bordeaux rebuild. Make sure you're smashing the like on the video and remember to subscribe. I'll speak to you next time.